It's the start of June and Japanese employers are starting to look for new employees for this coming ski season. So if you're interested in doing a ski season in Japan, keep watching this video to find out the 5 most important things you'll need to do before getting there. The first and most important thing you're going to need to consider before actually getting to Japan is getting a working holiday visa. In order to obtain the visa, you're going to need to go to your nearest Japanese consulate. And so, for example, if you live on the Gold Coast, your closest one will be in Brisbane. And if you live in Cooma, where I currently am right now, you're going to need to go all the way to Canberra to get this visa. The visa takes about a week to 2 weeks to actually be processed. I know that sounds really easy, but it's not. There are a few little things that you need to make sure you do and take to the consulate for your first visit in order to actually have it processed within that week to 2 week period. The first thing is you'll need a valid passport. If your passport is going to expire in the next couple of months, make sure you get a new one. It's a lot easier to do it if you've already got a valid passport. If you don't have a passport, you'll need to get a new one. It can cost a little bit of money, but it's definitely worth doing because you can't get a visa without it. The next thing you need to bring is completed application forms, which you can find on the consulate website, and also a completed questionnaire, which is also on that website. You'll also need a passport photo and a resume. And if your resume isn't up to scratch, make sure you jump on the internet now and have a look at how to write a good resume. Next, you'll need the purpose of your visit written on a bit of A4 paper. Generally, this is better if you type it. And you'll also need an itinerary for that 6-month visa period. This itinerary only needs to be quite rough. So say, for example, you say for November, you're going to arrive and travel around Tokyo for a little while. Next, you'll go up to Hokkaido if you're planning on going to somewhere like Niseko. Or if you're going down towards Hakuba area, say you might travel down towards Nagano to see the snow monkeys or something like that. You just need to fill out that 6 months of time with what you might be doing. If you've arranged a job already, you'll need to let them know that you have a job. And if you're a bit worried about this, you don't always have to tell them that you have a job. Just say you're going to go look for a job once you get there. The next one's a bit of a funny one, but you will need to show a bank statement from the last 3 months. This is to show that you've actually got some money coming in and that you can save enough money to go and live in another country. The next thing to show the consulate will be 2 points of contact within Japan. This can either be your employer over there or a friend who's already living there. If you don't have 2 contacts in Japan, which if it's your first season you probably won't have, you can give them 2 points of contact within Australia. And the most reliable sources that you might have will be your mum and your dad. The last thing you need to show the consulate is also my next point, and that's going to be some flight details. If you've already got a flight there and a return flight, don't worry about that. Just show them your itinerary. If you haven't got any flights there, you'll need to show them that you've got enough money in your bank account to actually pay for some of these flights. And that's why they wanted to see a bank statement. It's really easy to get flights to Japan because there's so many airlines that are going over there today. And if you're a baller or if your parents are going to pay for your flights, jump on something like Qantas or Emirates because they're great airlines to travel with. And if you don't really mind or you're sort of on a bit of a budget, get on Jetstar. The consulate asks to see your bank statements only so they can see how much money you've got and how much money you'll have when you're there. On the consulate website, it states that you're going to need at least $2,500 to comfortably live in Japan and also buy that return flight. I have traveled to Japan with $300 for one season, and the only way I got my visa was because my dad put $2,500 in my bank account and claimed it was birthday money. So if you don't have enough money but your parents are willing to support you just for a little bit, get them to do that, and all you'll have to do is put on your bank statements that it's a birthday present or you've sold a car or something like that. In saying that, I do agree with the consulate with the fact that you will need at least $2,500 to go over there and sort of live comfortably, especially if you haven't got a job yet, or even if you do have a job, because once you get there, you are going to need to buy some stuff. You're probably going to want to eat at restaurants and drink alcohol and buy new clothes because, I mean, it's Japan. What else? So in order to do that, make sure you start saving now if that is your plan. A lot of people will still go on a holiday without travel insurance, but if you're going to do a ski season, you're putting yourself at a little bit of risk, especially if you're going to go skiing and snowboarding almost every single day. There are a lot of companies that offer really great sort of snow-related travel insurance. I use Yugo Travel Insurance because it's a little bit cheaper, but it's actually a subsidiary of Covermore Travel Insurance. A lot of my friends will use World Nomads, and there's a lot of companies out there that you can use, but just make sure you tick the box that covers you for skiing, because without it, you probably won't get any money back if you do hurt yourself on the slopes. One tip that my mum gave me my first season was that if you do hurt yourself off-piste, then you're going to need to crawl back onto the piste and then call for ski patrol to come and rescue you. There are a lot of websites that advertise snow-related jobs within Japan, and I'll put a few links below to some of the good ones that I use and that I recommend to friends. So if you are still looking for a job or you haven't found anything yet, jump on one of those websites and look for a job that you have experience in already. Like I said earlier, fix up your resume, make sure you write a cover letter, and make sure you get someone to read your resume and cover letter before you apply. Get them to check for spelling errors, any grammatical errors as well, so that you look like you're really smart and you know what you're doing. Any other questions or queries about getting a job in Japan, you can comment below or send me a message, because I've been doing it for a few years and I sort of know what's going on, and if I can't help you, I'll ask some of my friends who also work in Japan. Let's go somewhere.